without further ado, we introduce Steve Calhoun.
Provision Sports and Entertainment. Protect your vision.
That was really cool earlier, being able to go over to the Slayer's house, Keenan Allen, and you got to congratulate him on making the second Pro Bowl in a row.
Fresh off of making the Pro Bowl. Fresh off of it.
Yeah.
Just got the call, right? You got the call when we were headed over there.
As we were driving over there, his father called me, told me the news that he made his second straight Pro Bowl, and it was awesome to be able to go and congratulate him and just kind of, share that moment with him.
Do you see yourself ever coaching in the NFL?
I would never say no. I really love what I do because I'm able to touch a lot of people around the country and not just a few on one team. So I would never say never, but I would love that challenge to be able to work with a quarterbacks or receivers on a team and see if I could take them to the highest level, which is winning the Super Bowl. I would love that challenge. So I'm never going to say never, and I'm going to work towards that goal of possibly doing that in the future.
I mean, you live and breathe football.
Yes.
It's football every day, and you love it though. I can tell just how passionate you are about the game, how passionate you are about teaching players.
Yeah.
So I don't see why there's any reason why you wouldn't be a coach on an NFL team.
Yeah, the thing is that when you're doing something you love, they say, it's not work. Right. So I work 7 days a week, or my passion is 7 days a week. And the one thing about Armed and Dangerous, it doesn't matter if I'm training NFL quarterbacks or receivers or youth quarterbacks or receivers, it's the same program. I don't teach those guys one way and teach the young guys another way. It's the same formula, and it's all about fundamentals, and that's what Armed and Dangerous is built off of.
Really, one of the cool things about your teaching is that it applies to every single level. I just worked a camp with you recently, and you see the guys who, they might not be as elite as some guys, but by the end of the camp, they're getting technique down, they're understanding what you want, and you just see the improvement, and that's one of the coolest parts about it.
That's one thing I always want, have the guys improve for. So if we're out there for 3 hours, it doesn't matter where you start, it's all about where you finish, okay? And we talk about getting 1% better with every repetition. So just take the information, process it, and being able to do it is something that's important to myself and my staff.
Right, you always say learn by doing.
Learn by doing.
Armed and Dangerous is established. It's been around for 14 years now. How did it get to this point right here, right now?
Well, it actually started almost of an accident. I was going into my last year of training for Germany. I was going into my 9th year. I was home training, and I was in the gym with my strength and conditioning coach. And also in there with me was a young high school quarterback named Derek Shaw, who was a sophomore going into his junior year. So it was important for me after I would get done working out that I would always go and throw, because as your muscles get bigger, they lose their muscle memory. So I always want to keep my technique nice and tight. So his grandfather, Dick Enright was his name, asked me, hey, could you show my grandson some of the stuff that you're doing? Because he's a quarterback as well. So for the next 3.5, 4 months, we did that. I flew back to Germany, played my last year. He played his junior year at Oceanside High School and ended up becoming the #1 high school quarterback in the country.
Wow.
So stayed in touch with Coach Enright, and he said, hey, I think you found your niche. This is something you need to be doing full time. My brother came up with the name Armed and Dangerous, and 14 years later, we're sitting here being interviewed by, Tim and Matt.
What's the vision for Armed and Dangerous going on into the future?
Just continue to do what I'm doing. There's 50 states, and right now I'm only in about 14 of them. So just continue to focus on the details, continue to come up with creative ways to get them to understand exactly what I want them to do, and so they can go out and put their best foot forward and have a great youth football career, great high school career, great college career, and possibly a great professional career.
You're improving the game all over the world. You're helping every team that has an athlete training with you. You're helping athletes overseas that you train overseas. That's you're a true ambassador of football.
Football is a global game, and my next stop is the Far East. I'm planning on doing camps in Japan and China and India, where football is just huge. So I'm trying to take my message of Armed and Dangerous, out to those countries and just continue to spread the message of football, because there's so many life lessons, not just about the game, but there's so many life lessons that you can learn in your daily life that I learned from football, just to help me become a better man, a better coach, a better father.
You actually have a son that plays at UTEP, and he broke the all-time record for pass deflections, right?
That is correct.
And he's gearing up for the combine right now, getting ready to go in the league.
Such a proud moment right now, proud father. Not only did he, do everything he needed to do on the field to allow him to have an opportunity to get drafted, but he just graduated, with his college degree, 5 years, in El Paso. Even though that's a rival of New Mexico State, I still had to wear the orange and blue and throw up my pickaxe and cheer for him every Saturday. But it's just been an unbelievable thing to see him grow as a young man, as a football player, to see now he's so close to his dream, and he's going through that process of having an opportunity to play on Sundays.
And I think that's so cool that he has such a supportive father. I mean, you flew to every single game. You went to every single one of his games.
Yes.
How does that make him feel, the fact that, he has his dad in the stands for every single one of his games?
Yeah, I mean, he was always excited to see, myself and his mother. His mom did the same thing, We sacrificed, every weekend. I sacrificed being able to train, quarterbacks and receivers on the weekends, which is, my busiest time during the year. But there's no sacrifice big enough to go and see your kid play, every week and be there for him, whether they won or lost, and have him look up in the stands or come over and just be able to talk to you and say, hey, thank you for coming, even though it could have been in Tennessee or it could have been in Western Kentucky or even in El Paso. It was an unbelievable feeling just to see him smile and give him a hug and tell him I'm proud of him and just tell him, hey, continue to work.
How do you plan on protecting your vision?
Well, I'm just going to continue to do what I'm doing. I've had a lot of athletes that worked underneath me that had success, and they're continuing to have success. So I feel like I have the blueprint to continue to give to the kids, and they're going to continue to, expand their careers from the youth to high school to college to the NFL. So I think my vision is protected.
I'm just doing what I gotta do.